What we're going to talk about today is some basic daily checks and lubing on your TYM T574 tractor, so let's get with it. Okay, so first I'll just show you the grease zerks. I won't bore you with actually hooking up and plugging into them, but these are where your zerks are going to be found on a TYM tractor. You got 4 up here on the front end loader. Those 4 are crucial. This is crucial. All this stuff, if they've got a grease zerk there, it's very important that you take the time to keep this thing maintained, because there's a lot of stress that goes on. Now these are exactly the same on the other side, but let me show you underneath here. When you're doing this, you've got this, and then you've got its mate right back here on this side. This axle pivots a lot when you're out driving around, especially in a rough field, so you got to make sure you keep that greased up. A couple that people forget sometimes are right back here. One on the left, one on the right. Be sure you hit those. Another one I'll show you that people tend to miss is right here on your lift arm adjustment. So be sure and hit that. And I don't know of any others up here. If somebody does, how about dropping it in the comment below, because I haven't been able to find one. And then the one that's kind of hidden and hard to get to is right back here behind your hydraulic filter. So you can see that. At any rate, I've got an electric grease gun, makes this a quick, simple, easy job. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do right now, and then I'll walk you around and show you some of the daily checks that you ought to be doing. Alright, one of the checks you ought to be doing, I hope that you've gone ahead and slippage marked your bolts as much as possible. It makes it real easy just to take a quick gander as the tractor is warming up and see that all that is good to go. And that's just some torque stripe. If you don't have any, I'll put a link in the description below. Another thing that's very important that you do, other than checking your fluid levels, is your fuel filters. You've got one here. You don't have to change those at the 50 hour. Don't make the mistake I made. I forgot to turn the fuel flow off, which allowed the fuel to drain from up here out of the injectors and the injector pump. So make sure you flip that lever off before you change this out. And the other thing you want to do is, you see our little red fuel water separator here, this little red disc. If that's floating any, all you got to do is turn this little knob, let that drain out. You can put a hose on the end of this if you want, and just let those few drops of water out so you don't put that into your fuel system. Now, your oil levels, you've got, it's convenient on this side, there's your engine oil level, there's your front axle oil level, and you walk back around here to the back side of the tractor, and right over here there's your filler port for the hydraulics. There's your dipstick for the hydraulics down there. So you need to check those, especially after you do a 50 hour on them and you run it for a few minutes, and make sure that you don't have any leaks or drips or anything else going on. And so we've done that. Filters are good, they're tight, no leaks, and we've also checked our fluid levels. That's all good. Now I'll show you something else. If you have trouble with your air condition on this cab, go up here and clean these filters out. You can see the little screw or knobs on each side. It's not too difficult. Pop those off, clean that filter screen out. There's another one just like it on the other side. I'll walk you around. You can see it right up there. But pop those out, give them a good wash out, make sure they're clean, and that should solve a lot of the problems if you've got condensation problems or lack of cool air problems or something else with your air conditioning system on the cab. Otherwise, you got to continue on down the list of troubleshooting items to do on this if you're not happy with your cooling flow. But so far so good, knock on wood, I hadn't had any issues. But it's about time for me to get to work instead of doing maintenance on the tractor. Now it's time to go play on the tractor, and that's what we all like. If you like this kind of stuff, like, subscribe, comment below if you got any questions, and we'll see you next time, Hidden Acres Outdoors. Bye.